This episode is powered by Specialized Recruiting Group in Livonia, helping businesses find top-tier talent and professionals land their next big opportunity. Welcome to Ghosted by the Machine, the podcast where job seekers break through the algorithm and get heard. No filters, no bots, just 5 minutes of truth. I'm your host, Mark Lane, and today we have a special guest, someone that has seen hiring from both sides, inside corporate recruiting, and now working directly with job seekers. She's a chief people officer, founder, Hidden Gem Career Coaching, and author, The Hidden Gem Within. Jessica Winder, welcome to Ghosted by the Machine. And before we jump in, for anyone who someone hasn't read your blog, heard your podcast, or been mildly offended by your honesty, give us the quick version of who you are and what problem in hiring you're still trying to fix.
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I think this is such a great opportunity to speak truth to power and just talk about what's really going on, like not how it should be, but how it really is. So my background, I've been in HR for 14 years. I am a wife. I'm a mom of 2 sets of twins. I have 4 kids that are 2 and under. So life is bananas for me, but I am very passionate about, I have a very burn it down to the ground mentality when it comes to traditional HR. I think that there are things that need to be done differently from my own experience working in HR and seeing how people are treated. So that is a hill that I will absolutely die on, is that we should burn it all down and start again. I believe in good trouble. I think that there are some things that I can say now that I'm in like a chief people officer role that maybe I wish I could have said when I was in my younger role, starting out in my HR career. So now I speak a lot and very openly on LinkedIn. I offend a lot of people that work in HR. I even talk about how I don't like most HR people. And that's what it is.
I love it. So what's something recruiters and hiring managers complain about privately but never admit publicly?
How much they hate the ATS system. So they talk about the ATS system is the applicant tracking system, and how much they hate how much time it takes, especially now that every ATS system has AI in it. And so AI is being used to narrow people out who actually might be qualified. So what's happening is that the AI is like telling you, here's 5 great candidates. But then there's 5 other great candidates that AI is saying, oh, they're not good. Well, you now have to go back and check that if you're a good recruiter. And I say that with a caveat, if you're a good recruiter. If you're not, you just take whatever the AI gives you and you run with it. Where I always direct my team that I want eyes on everything. So we are checking that they are making the right decisions. We're not letting them make decisions for us. So a lot of recruiters are complaining about that, but they don't say that out in the open because then that creates this narrative with the candidates. So yeah, a lot of recruitment teams are complaining about their ATS system.
And from speaking to other job seekers across the country, their biggest concern is they feel that their AI is competing with someone else's AI. I put my resume in and I have it ATS set up and got my fair share of keywords in there. You know,
Oh yeah, that is absolutely a thing. And I just gave a presentation about this here in Las Vegas where I live because it's happening so often. So for example, you can open a role right now and people are getting hundreds of applicants, some qualified, some unqualified. And it's a concept now known as the dead internet, where candidates are using AI to do their resume, do their cover letter, apply for them. And then the company is using AI to screen those resumes. And there's no human in sight. So it's known now as the dead internet, where like a human is not doing any of those interactions. And what does that mean for the long run? We don't know yet because it's just starting to happen. But that is the new concept called the dead internet.
Speaking of AI and recruiting, now they get blamed a lot.
Absolutely.
What's fair criticism and what's just recruiters using technology as a scapegoat? They seem to be using that all the time. That's all AI is.
I definitely think there's something to be said of I know a lot of people that have been in recruiting for years and they take a lot of passion behind they're almost like the matchmaker. Like, is this going to be a good fit for the company? Is this going to be a good fit for you and long-term success? So the companies that I have seen do it well actually reward recruiters, not for just filling the seat. So if you just get somebody in here as soon as you can, that's not the reward. The reward is if that person stays and are a good fit for the organization long term. So some companies actually bonus recruiters off of, you made a great hire and this person is here 6 months, 9 months later. Not you made a hire and you get a bonus off of the day that they start. Because if you're bonused off the day that they start, you don't care who fills the job. You just want somebody in the seat. And it actually benefits you if that person leaves. So the ones that get it are the ones that get bonus or get a reward if the person stays long term.
Just another layer.
Yeah.
If you could force every hiring manager to understand one thing about today's talent market, what would it be?
I would force every hiring manager or anyone in leadership to have to go through the interview process, to have to go through getting endless rejections, to have to go through getting rejections from the moment you apply. Like nobody even looked at your resume. So go through the entire hiring process to see, one, is it fair? Is it biased? And not even talking about the AI bots, but even the interview process. Like, how many interviews are you putting these people through and jumping through hoops? So I would make every single one of them go through the hiring process. There used to be a TV show where they would have like the CEO go undercover and work
Yeah.
at the company. I would make them do that.
It's been horrible. I've never seen anything like it. They tell you
Mhm.
you need to use your friends, you need to use your relationships. That's not helping anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from your perspective, what's the biggest myth job seekers believe about how hiring decisions actually get made?
I think people think that they can game the system. They've been told by people on TikTok or that you can just game it or you can get around the ATS system. And unfortunately, that's just not true. There is no way around it because even if, let's say, you meet somebody at a networking event and you talk to them and they say, like, oh, you might be a great fit for this job, you still have to go through the ATS system. So I think it's just such a myth. It makes me sad that so many people have gotten this advice of like try to get around it. You have to go through it. The only way through is through. Now, the caveat to that is if you know someone, they still can give you, like, they can go in the ATS system if they work there and say, I know this person or I talked to this person, they could be a good fit. So
Right.
still do those things, but you cannot game the system.
So with everything you see across hiring, leadership, and HR, what's actually giving you hope right now? Is there anything out there that makes you feel like, oh, this is going to change?
You know what? My hope comes from the knowledge that so many companies are now realizing that their hiring process is broken. And so a lot of companies have now instituted where they call it a one click application where you don't have to upload your resume and then type everything out. You literally just one click, you click, you upload your resume, that's your application. The second thing that is giving me hope is that a lot of people have now seen because they have been laid off how hard it actually is. And now they have more empathy during the hiring process. And that is giving me hope.
Jessica, thank you so much for joining us today and for pulling back
Absolutely.
the curtain on what's actually happening in the job application process. And that's exactly why we do this show, to take what experts see on the inside and connect it what real people are experiencing on the outside. So if you're navigating the job search, feeling stuck, burned out, or confused by the hiring process, and you want to tell your story, email or DM me anytime. And if you want to stay plugged into the real stories, real insights, and real humans behind today's broken hiring system, make sure to follow and subscribe to all our social channels for new episodes, shorts, and conversations every week. I'm Mark Lane, and this is Ghosted by the Machine, because behind every application, there's a human. Let's make hiring human again. Thanks again, Jessica. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.